Hey folks, it's April. Time for some opinionating from me. Alright, what do I have to say? Oh, here's an interesting one. There was a poll of polls, 16 different polls, all the results were pulled together, basically 3 questions. Do you believe in climate change, and is it caused by man? Overwhelming Americans said yes, they believe that climate change is happening. Half say it's man-caused, half don't. And then the question is, are you concerned about climate change? Overwhelming majority of Americans, 78% of them say yes. And then the third one is, should the federal government regulate the emission of greenhouse gases? Almost 80% of Americans say yes. So let's think about that for a second. All of us are willing to say climate change is happening. The Republicans tend to go, well, I don't know if it's man-made. And that's probably because of the conservative media, but it's also maybe a healthy sort of like defense mechanism. And then when you look at whether or not it's considered really serious or somewhat serious, that's a strange question because everyone agrees it's a threat, but the degree to which it's a threat, the Republicans tend to be less concerned. Maybe that's because they're just less neurotic. Or maybe they just cope with the stress of this whole thing better. And maybe they're just not going to go there. Maybe they have, better skills of denial. Kind of admirable in a way. But I think that's more of a psychological issue than anything significant about politics. But lastly, how about the fact that all Americans want the government to step in and regulate these greenhouse emissions? Now that's weird, because the idea of the federal government stepping in and doing anything on behalf of the American people has been argued about for centuries. And it is the classic divide between Republicans and Democrats, and yet in this case, the overwhelming majority wants the feds to step in and do something. And that, my friend, is probably the best indication of where we're really at. Because when the chips fall down and the you-know-what hits the fan, all Americans want the feds to do something. So, to all of you politicians who I know are watching this video, I'm so high on your radar, do something!